Two brothers, one focused on money, the other on mindset. Both on a mission to help men heal, laugh, and grow. This is the conversation every man needs to hear.
All right, so this is part two. I mean, my man Chris Randle was laying down so much juice that he popped the tape, man. You popped the tape. Remember when you used to record and your tape would pop?
Yeah.
And you'd be mad in the mud?
Yeah,
that's what basically happened on the first episode. But we back. So we're going to pick up part two. I'm going to allow you to ask me something, man, because we've worked together. You know me very well. So throw something out there and let's get to it.
Well, I remember, we talk about emotions and all of that. And I grew up I come from a very specific, background, and home environment. My dad taught me and my sister a lot of, he gave us a lot of emotional practice to talk about our feelings, and we
lucky to be you.
Got a chance to be. Well, with that being said, what does that mean when you say lucky to be me? Like, what was your family dynamic like?
So my father was a very tough man. He grew up a really tough guy. So he was raised actually by his grandfather, my grandmother's father, my dad's father. Funny story.
Okay.
I just thought of this. My parents were married at 18 or 19 years old. I can't remember exactly. At the wedding was my grandfather, Cal Quigley III. That's who I'm named after. And, that lineage. And then my other grandfather's name is Calvin Robinson. So they were both Cals. And Cal Quigley III stabbed Calvin Robertson over a pool game. And probably $2 back then, but $5 or whatever.
Yeah. So
that's like the introduction to my families meeting one another at, the reception for the marriage. Anyway, so as that for a foundation. So my dad grew up very hard. And so I always remember just wanting him to, say I love you. And he was the kind of guy that would be like, I have feelings. That was his thing. I have feelings for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we, dating or something? Just tell me. And I was 22 years old. I was in the Air Force. I had just come back from overseas. My dad picked me up at the airport, gave me a kiss on my cheek, said, man, I love you. That was the first time in my entire life that I heard my father say, I love you. And the worst part about it, bro, is I was at a point in my life where I had become a hardened man myself. It meant nothing to me. Oh, wow. So in retrospect, I wish I would have had different feelings about it, and hugged him and cried about it and, but the truth be told, like I was like, all right, man, for shizzle, let's go.
Yeah.
So, but for you, like, how did that shape you as a man growing up with somebody that was so physical from what I hear, as well as emotional, stability wise?
Yeah, I think we know statistically that the presence of a healthy man in somebody's life is super, super important. And there are a lot of, like I said, stats out there that say what it affects, in terms of a male not being there, what it does for a person's behavior, what it does for a person's psychology, what it does, what the trend would be for them financially and all those sorts of things. And I still think there's stuff more to learn about what, that impact, can have. Me personally, I think I grew up, even though I was, you're still learning yourself when you're in middle school and high school and stuff like that. So I wasn't super confident, but that was because I didn't have a lot of stuff, and I thought you needed stuff, to get the girl or to be the cool guy or whatever. But as far as my assurity within myself, I think character-wise, like, it was pretty solid in terms of, no, I don't do that. No, I don't do what this person, does, and sex and drugs and whatever. They're like, no, that's not, what I'm on. Because at home, my parents, my dad really led the house.
That's great.
Nowadays it's very common we're very mother-centric in our society. Mothers are amazing. and they're at the top. Like, Mom, I couldn't, do without Mom. And Tupac got, the Mom song, and Boyz II Men got the Mama. And it's like, Mother's Day is like crazy.
Oh, yeah, they shut it down, bro.
They shut it down.
Yeah.
Father's Day, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much. I hope it gets, better. And even people's idea of their father being in their life, it's like, it's almost like it's not really necessary. Like, I mean, it is, what it is. If he is, cool. If he's not, that's the type of, thing. And it really, I say that because we typically kind of split it up, like mothers handle the emotional part, fathers handle the, he gonna teach you how to drive and teach you how to change a tire and whatever. But as far as being able to talk to you, being able to really understand what's going on, talk about your grades or talk about you in a relationship with, this person, it's gonna be your mom. Your dad's gonna be like, you good? Cool. And that's gonna be the extent of it. My house was the exact opposite. My dad taught us, emotional regulation. My dad talked to us about the feelings. My dad talked to me. I remember being still into entertainment and wanting to get into acting and all of that, and I really loved it. And I remember one time he said, "Hey, make sure don't let them take advantage of you. You're good at what you do. They want you a part of the production because you add to the production. You love it. You don't have to get paid. You just want to practice. You just want to work on your craft. But they asked you to be a part of the production because you elevate it. So think about that. Make sure you are getting compensated in some form or fashion.
Right.
If it's not money, is it opportunity? Is it experience? Make sure you're getting something out of the deal.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, people are just going to ask you, and their thing is going to be better, and you're not going to get anything out of it.
Get used up.
So I was like, whoa, no, that's...
What a confidence boost, though.
Yeah, like that's true, okay. But like you said, confidence, like to say this is what I should be thinking about. This is what I should be, how I should assess the situation. So a lot of confidence in probably ways that you wouldn't think about confidence, like, oh, I'm the man. It was like, I think about this in a different way. So those are the types of things,
So how can brothers who didn't necessarily grow up like you figure that gear out? Work to be able to do that and not feel soft, but also be able to provide what their family needs. Because like you're saying, mom provides this. We're whole people. We have both masculine and female traits. And so we need that nourishment for both sides, either women or men.
I think just from the last episode, like one of my favorite words is practice, because it's practical, but understanding it's going to take time. If you didn't grow up with it at all, it's going to take time for you to talk to another guy about what you're really going through. Talk to another guy about what your real fears are, being vulnerable. So all of those things take time, honesty, vulnerability, transparency. Super difficult concepts to be okay with. But practice, so I would say find some safe people, to be able to express yourself, with, and just practice the dialogue of talking about how you feel. I would also say there's something that's called a feelings wheel, if people never heard of it before.
I've seen that before.
So you can Google feelings wheel, and you'll get a lot of different examples, and they pretty much have the same type of words and language on it. And typically it's going to be in a circle, kind of like a pie chart.
Right.
All of the words in the middle, closer to the middle, are going to be basic, emotions. It's going to say happy, sad, anger, that type of stuff. And usually they're going to be color-coded. So everything related... anger is usually red. Right. Okay. So everything related to anger, that's going to be the primary, what they call them primary emotions. Secondary emotions are going to be the emotions that are related to that primary emotion. So example, maybe you on the secondary side of anger, you'll see frustration. Because we kind of don't typically, maybe we associate them together, maybe we don't. But frustration is there because when you're frustrated, you're like, man, I wanted something to happen, okay? Well, if you think about wanting something to happen and it doesn't happen, yes, you're angry, and you're angry because you're frustrated. You've been working on something for 2 weeks and you thought it was going to happen and it didn't. Well, that third tier is probably going to say disappointment. And you're going to be like, how are they related? Well, yes, you're angry. You're angry because you worked on it a lot and it didn't go like you wanted it to go. And you're disappointed because you didn't get the thing that you were going to get after the 2 weeks. But what the feelings wheel does for you, it gives you the language to express so you can stop saying, I'm mad, I'm pissed, I'm mad, I'm pissed, I'm mad, I'm pissed. How you feel? I'm mad. Okay, why? Because I'm pissed. Why? Because I'm mad.
And that's the end of the spectrum.
So it's like, let's get to the deeper feelings. Why are you mad? What about the situation is making you pissed? All of that. So the feelings wheel helps you because it gives you those words to say. So you can stop saying angry and you can say, man, I'm disappointed, because I thought this was going to happen. And
actually mean what you're saying.
Yeah.
Versus it just being a blanket.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge every father out there today. I want you to go, daughter, son, whoever it is, and I want you to just simply say, I love you, I value you, but say it in your own way. You don't have to take my words, because you literally have on screen the difference between someone who was poured into, someone who was not. Now, we're both successful in our own rights, but I would love to be in a position where that was even an option in my mind to choose from. Where before, never heard those things. Creepy. Creepy.
Yeah.
All right, so check this out. We money moves and mindset. So how do you think that this, going back to black men specifically, how do you think that this lack of transparency from our fathers affects our money challenges that we face all the time?
Excuse me. So let's go back a couple generations, right? And just think of all the things that your grandparents told you about money, right?
Hide it under the mattress.
Hide it under the mattress.
Redlining is real. Don't buy a house.
Don't buy a house. So all the things that are related to the fears about money. Don't tell nobody your business.
Don't tell about,
Don't put your money in the bank because they're going to take it or whatever. That's why you're putting it under the mattress. Those types of, things. So those things travel and have traveled in our generations, okay? Now, at one point, they did have strong reasons for saying it. But understand that their reasons for saying it were attached primarily to that specific time frame and the experiences of them.
Yeah.
Okay? So it mattered, but it mattered in a certain context. A generation later, them telling you that, or you going and living your life based off of that, is probably not applicable. Okay? And if it is, it's not applicable in the same way. So when money traumas or money fears travel down generations, now we're doing things that are harming us, and not helping us because that's what Granny said. Granny said, no, I shouldn't be focused on, I give you one example. The idea or the phrase, black people have to work twice as hard to get twice as far.
I say that to myself all the time.
When that was originated, of course, there was a specific reason, and the reason probably wasn't to scare. The reason was probably to spur you to work hard.
Right.
Okay. Well, a couple of generations later, with all of the context of that generation, it's also very possible that that statement gets intertwined with, I'm going to have barriers. So if I'm going to have barriers, I either need to avoid the barriers. You're probably not going to be thinking about pushing down the barriers. You're probably going to have a mindset that's very even subtly accepting of the barriers. Because, you know, that's why I didn't get the such and such. I didn't get the promotion because, you know, black people got to work twice as hard. You know, because, you know.
The question is, did that person work twice as hard?
Did they work twice as hard? You know, so now you're attributing something that's probably not even, oh, it's because I was black.
Yeah.
Your file says you was late 8 times.
Come on, man. There you go.
No. Let's take
I meant like, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, because I immediately, when you say stuff, man.
Okay.
I have so much experience and I deal with so many people on a weekly basis that when you say stuff, literally a picture pops into my mind. That's why I was saying, there you go. So I have a student right now, young black man.
Okay.
I'm at a PWI.
Yeah.
First day he came in, hey, brother, how you doing? He was like, yeah, I never had a black male professor. I'm looking for somebody to mentor me. Okay. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm here to profess. We can see if some mentoring can go on, but I'm here to teach you. And so I said, do this for me, though. Go extra hard in the class. I want you to know what's going on. I want you to raise your hand. I want you to be present every class. Oh, yeah, I can do that, Dr. Q. Do you know this brother come late to class every day? Every day.
Yeah.
So he either 5 minutes, 8 minutes late, or he doesn't come at all.
Oh, wow.
And so at the end of this semester, what he's going to do, and I hope you're watching because I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to you. At the end of the semester, he'll come to me and say, hey, can you write me a letter of recommendation? Because I'm looking at doing X, Y, and Z. Happens all the time. It's just standard for a professor, right? Yeah. And I'm going to have to look this dude in his eye and say, yeah, I can't put my name on you, player. You was late to class every day. Yeah. And now all of these students around who are not black are looking at this and saying, well, yeah, when he called me to ask me, can I hook him up with a job or internship? I'm going to be like, nah, you was late to Dr. Quigley class every day. We love this dude. They get there 10 minutes early so they can have conversations with me. Yep. But yeah, man. So it's like, dude, what do you do?
What do you do? And check this out. In, let's say, 1950 or 1960, if a older black man told a younger black man, hey, I need you to go hard. I need you to work really hard. Probably they took that like gold. Right. And they did it. And they were there. And they worked extra hard. And you ain't got to pay me. We treat it like an internship because I'm learning. Yeah. So we have to think what happened from 1950, 60 to now to where when somebody says, hey, you got to work hard. Why you can't just give it to me?
Why can't you give it to me?
What has happened where that you might likely get that versus I'm going to do what you say because I see where you are and you look like me. So what you're saying is more than likely true. So let's go ahead and test this and give 100%. Like something has happened.
Maybe we need one more chair over there and we bring in, Dr. Claude Anderson or somebody. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Because if I try to connect what we're talking about, it's better to pass down the spirit of what is said versus the thing that black people got to work twice as hard. They didn't. I would guess. They weren't telling us that so we can give less effort.
Right. Not to wilt.
They were saying that
to go hard in the paint.
To say, hey, there are going to be a lot of barriers. So you help yourself when you fill yourself with knowledge that will help you overcome the barriers. That's why you're working twice as hard to overcome the barrier. Not to be like, look, see, it's harder for us. Okay, work hard then. Yeah. But why we got to work that hard? I don't know. Why can't cars fly? They just can't right now.
Actually, they can.
Well,
eVTOLs.
Just it's like but see, even that 50 years ago, cars can't fly. Nope. But now they can because some team of people said, how can we overcome this barrier? And if somebody came and said, y'all probably going to have to work twice as hard to make that car fly.
We
got to work twice as hard to make the car fly?
Forget it, man. Let's just drive. Yeah.
They took that challenge like, we're going to work twice as hard because we trying to make this car fly. So it's like that's that was the goal or the idea behind the statement. Work hard. Don't give anybody an opportunity to take your name off the table.
Yeah.
Don't give anybody the opportunity to say, I don't know about this guy. If anything, they're like, we keep trying to get him out. He just belong here, I guess. You know?
When I was going through my doctoral program, I quit. A lot of people don't know that. I actually quit. And part of it was because I started to understand the lunacy of being in school for 22 years at that point. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, maybe I should just stop going to school all the time and focus on some other things. But when I quit, someone reached out to me and said, hey, no, we need you. We need to see, you finish and all this kind of stuff. So it pumped me up, so I went back through the process.
22 years or 30 years or 40 years. Proverbs 4:7 says, get knowledge, get understanding, even though it costs you everything. Mm-hmm. So according to us, like people who watch you, is it worth it that Kyle took that long to get the doctorate? Absolutely. Kyle might not have thought it in the moment.
Heck no.
He might have been like, this is too, but is it worth it? Absolutely it's worth it, because I heard somebody say that the thing about college is not about like the grades and the all the academics or whatever. College gives you wisdom. The wisdom to go to your teacher and speak up for yourself. The wisdom to know how to negotiate this grade or this whatever. The wisdom of being consistent with getting up and doing something every day or every other day until you accomplish. There's wisdom in that surpasses the letters behind your name or the information. Right. It's a wise thing to do, to say, my future and the people who are attached to me's future is valuable enough to go to school for this long. Yeah. So that's
It came back around. So you had said something about names being taken off of the table. Mm-hmm. So as I'm going through this process, when I quit, I said to myself, I want to be in a position so that I'll never be denied at least an opportunity to walk in the room. Yeah. And so, all right, let's go ahead and finish. You're at the top of the tree. And at this point, if there's a position that's available for you, at the very least, I can apply and possibly get an interview. If I get the interview, I got it. They gonna love me. Yeah. Then finished up and started my own company and didn't need any of it. Didn't need any of it. I'm like, actually, but GI Bill and all that kind of stuff. So it turned out good.